Okay, let's get started. Today, this family is called the Hump family. I think Hannah remembers that, right? Because last time we did H, it was the Loop family. But Hannah was like, but there's a mountain there. It looks like a hump. I was like, yeah, but there's more people actually belong to a hump family. So we are going to get started. The hump families like to climb mountains. They like to jump over mountains. So I'm going to show you the first one is letter N. I'm going to use this black marker to trace over so you can see clearly. It's the letter N. So Nancy, let's just say Nancy. Nancy likes to jump over the mountain, and she would jump up, land on her feet. Then she would jump over the mountain, then land on her feet again. She is a great jumper. So let's try to review. Nancy likes to jump up, lands on her feet, then jump over the mountain, land on her feet again. So please try to write several letter N's on your paper.
I don't even know what this is. Can you do it? I hear writing, but I don't even know what it looks like. I don't know what it looks like. This is terrible. I don't even know what
Can't use pens.
Okay, when you're done, show me so I can see. I'll give you some suggestions too.
I don't even know what it looks like.
I can put it here and show you. I just did several.
Oh.
So it jumps up and land on her feet. Then she jumps over the mountain again, created a hump, then landed on her feet again. Okay, you just need to write 3 or 4 in a lesson, and after lesson you can write more. Okay, thank you. Now let's continue. Thank you. Next one is letter M. I always think M is just a bigger version of N. Let's see how M works. Okay. M, let's see, do we have any friends whose name starts with M? Maybe Matthew? We had a learner whose name was Matthew. Let's try. So Matthew is also a great jumper. And Matthew would jump up and then land on his feet. Then he would jump over one mountain and he was like, I can do another one. So he jumped over another mountain and landed on his feet. So he jumped over 2 mountains. So please go ahead and try to write several letter M's.
Jumped over 2 little mountains. I'm not even in nothing.
Okay, I'm going to put this right here so you guys can see. I have a reference. Okay. Thanks for showing me. Thanks for showing me. Make sure this is a short letter, right? Both N and M, they are short letters, so they have to stay under the dash line. Okay, let's continue. Next one, I would call it the little sister Vera. Little sister saw Matthew and Nancy. They're so good at jumping, so she wanted to do the same thing. But let's see what happens. So little sister Vera wants to jump like over the mountain. So she jumped really high and landed on her feet. She's like, I want to be jumping over the mountain. So she's like jumping, but too bad she could only land on the bridge. She was just not old enough or strong enough to really jump over a mountain. So she actually jumped on the bridge. So Vera jumped up and landed on her feet, jumped on the bridge. So try to write several.
No. Doing the thing.
Letter B. Make sure letter B is short too. It stays in between the dashed line and the red line. Okay, seems like you guys are ready. Let's move on to the next one. Next one is the letter Y. As you can see, this person jumps all over the place, right? Do we have any person's name start with letter Y? I can't think of any.
You're it. You're it.
What?
I think you're it.
I don't know. What about, okay, Hannah, we can hear your noise if you do that. Okay. What about yogurt?
Yogurt?
I don't think anybody's name is yogurt, but let's just say the nickname is yogurt.
Well,
Okay.
who named that kid would be weird.
Okay, let's try to see what yogurt did. Okay. Yogurt wanted to jump too, so started from bottom, jumped and landed on his feet. And he's like, I'm gonna jump again. So he jumped, but too bad he couldn't jump over the mountain. Instead, he fell through the hole. He's like, never mind, I'm gonna find my way out. That's what happened to Yogurt. So let's try again. Yogurt started jumping, landed on his feet, and jumped again, but too bad it fell through the hole and it found his way out. So please go ahead and try to write letter Y several times.
Who would name their kid yogurt?
Actually, I want to tell you something. So in China, it's actually a trendy thing to do to name their children, like especially babies, with cute food names. So their nicknames are like actually food. I think it's kind of like it's kind of a dumb thing to do here, right? But it's actually a very trendy and cute thing to do in China nowadays. Like for example, they would call their kids little potato, like little rice or something like that. Yeah, it's really cute. I really like to eat potatoes, so I might call my baby little potatoes in Chinese.
And, wait, somebody's name is Little Potato. You're just like potato. That person.
Oh, by the way, so a funny thing is they don't really call their kids little potato. When they describe their kids or talk about their kids with other adults, they would refer them as little potato or something like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think
it's just a cute thing to do. Cultures are all different. All right, I saw you guys letter Y's already, so let's do letter X. As you can see, this letter X is totally different from other members in this family. I will tell you the story. The only name that I know that starts with X is actually Xavier, right? Xavier. So Xavier also wants to jump like others, so he started jumping, and too bad, it kind of slid. So he's like, I don't want others to see that. So he jumped and kind of wiped all the trails and everything, so people can't see that he slipped. So he jumped and slipped, and then he wiped everything. So try it.
Also, my name is pretty, like, there's a lot of people that name their kid Sebastian.
Really?
Yes. Canada, here, I don't know why, but.
Sebastian, what kind of name is it? Is it like a Bible name, or does it have a meaning behind it?
I don't know. But I only know, my other part of my name, how to say it. It's Sebastian.
Uh-huh.
But then I don't know the other part.
Yeah, I'm not really familiar with the history of English names. I don't know how people actually name their children, but I know a lot of people name their children based on Bible stories, Bible figures, right? I also think a lot of people name their children based on their ancestors. Like, for example, your favorite grandma's name was like Rose. That's why you want to name your children Rose or something like that, right?
My
My dad named me after his grandma. She passed away.
That makes sense. Okay, let's do the last one in this Hump family and also in the entire alphabet after all these lessons. Last one's letter Z. Let's look at this person's story. What about we say Zach? Zach. So Zach jumps and somehow got swing back and landed. And he's like, oh, let me decide which way I want to go. And he decided to go downward and fell through the hole and found his way out. Let's try again. Zach wants to jump, but somehow swing to the left. Then he decided to find a different way to go. So he went downward, went through a hole, and found his way out. So try it. Try several times. I always think this cursive letter Z looks like 3.
You couldn't have just used Xander since I have a Z in my beginning, since that's my beginning name, Xander.
Xander. Does that start with X?
Z. It starts with Z.
Sometimes X, like for example, xylophone. Xylophone starts with Z sound, but it starts with the letter X. Yeah. So maybe you should ask your mom, because we always call you Corbin, so we don't really know how to spell your first name. Maybe you should ask your mom and teach us next time when we meet. Okay, here you go. Your letter Z's look like letter 3s, right? Okay, that is it. So we have finished learning all the cursive letters. Do you think this is helpful that we kind of added some stories to each letter to help you to remember how to write them?
I know how to make fingerprints.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. So here's what we're going to do. As always, we're going to say thank you and thank you for having the lesson. Then I'm going to stop recording.
Yeah. Thank you.